Actually, my message today started with Rainier Maria Rilke. It started with his quote. So be patient. Be patient. And you mentioned how easy it is to be patient. It's so easy, isn't it? Isn't it so easy? I mean, we love being in the question, right? How many people love being in the question? No, we like the certainty of answers. You know, it makes us feel safe, we have ground to stand on, and we're stuck in the same place for a really, really long time if we do. Because the questions aren't the problem. The questions are actually the doorway. They're the doorway for the ever-creative spirit and expression of God. That God that's rushing towards us, that goodness that wants to be with us and express through us. That's what the questions open the door, that we may be a greater expression of spirit. Now, maybe the answers that we hear aren't always the things we want to hear, but what we know, when we're available, they're where we need to be. They're where we need to be in that moment. I love it. Another great philosopher said, life can only be understood backwards. However, we have to live it forward. How many of you have had situations in your life, God, why is this happening? I don't get it. What's going on here? And then when you look back, after you've been through all that and gotten through it and understand, you go, oh, that's the reason for greater understanding, greater forgiveness, greater love, greater possibility, whatever it is, you understand it later. But in order for that understanding or lack of understanding, in order for the question to be peaceful in us, we have to accept that life changes. That's what God does. Now remember, last week I said this, but I'm going to say it again. If we asked, what does God do all day long? Gives birth. God lies on her maternity table, giving birth all day long. New ideas, new possibilities, new seeds that are going to grow into trees, new children that are going to grow into themselves, new adults that need to grow. We need to grow and become who we're meant to be, but we're so good at putting off those questions, diverting and finding ways around them instead of owning them and sitting with them and being with them. We know that growth can be messy and transformation can be even messier. But when we live in the infinite possibility, if you think about it, God is all there is. And if God is good, then what? Good is all there is. We may not recognize it or label it as that, but that good is the potential for us to become, whether it's to become kinder, more forgiving, more creative, more loving, more understanding, more connected, more open, more available to bring people together instead of push them apart, whatever it is. There's always something more for us to be willing to step into. And when we're willing to do that, when we're willing to pause, because, you know, Spirit does not speak in the English language. Spirit speaks in the language of feeling, in the language of understanding. And we have to pause, because when our mind is so busy, or we're so busy out there in the world doing, we aren't creating that space for Spirit to bring us the answer. And I don't know about you, but answers come in very creative ways. Not in the way we think all the time, that we just hear the answer and it's there. I remember when I was teaching elementary school for 20 years, kindergarten, you know, that was my life. And then we had that upheaval of losing our oldest child so quickly that it just broke us apart. And I got the message because so many people Tara loved angels. That's why I always know that we wouldn't be here if Tara hadn't made her passing. So I thank her so often that she has brought the community together, because we're here because of her. We're here because she loved angels, and we got so many gifts of angels and angel books and angel messages, and we felt so good. I had this calling to open an angel store. I mean, people would say, I didn't know you liked sports. So it was a different calling for sure. But the answers did not come in a book that I read, How to Open an Angel Store. I thought, oh, I don't know what to do. Sure enough, a book would drop on the floor from our bookcase. How it dropped, I don't know. And the page would be, there would be the answer right there. Somebody would come into my experience and say, oh, you know what? I just started a business, and here's how you do it. I mean, they flowed to me in all these creative ways. You'd be reading a book, the answer would be there, the answer would come on television. You don't know where it's going to come. But answers come because there's a self-givingness of spirit. If that spirit is always giving birth, it's always giving birth to your ideas, your thoughts, things for you all the time. That's the goodness of God. It's that givingness. And if God is love and God is goodness, everything is about love and goodness, even if it doesn't feel that way. It's there for us. The answers are there. The thing that keeps us stuck, there's only one thing, really. Ernest Holmes professes it continually through most of his books. The only thing that binds us is our belief. If we believe in limitation, guess what? We're going to have a limited life. If we believe in possibility, we'll be open and available and ready to receive the possibilities. The gift has already been given. Spirit is always giving of it. But as we said, we can't receive if we're not open and available. Didn't Jesus say, it's the Father, Mother, God's good pleasure to give you the kingdom? Happiness comes when we receive our gifts, but we have to be open and available to receive. We can close down if we think we know all the answers. We can close down if we're bound by the belief there isn't enough, or we're not good enough, or life is insufficient, and there's only so much to go around. We live in an abundant universe. Repeat that. We live in an abundant universe. And because of that, since God is all there is, I want to tell you something. Here's the paradox of life. The same mind that asks the question is the same mind that has the answer. It's a paradox. But God is the gift. God is the question and the answer. Here's the quote that Ernest Holmes says, and I'd like to share this with you because it's something that you have to think about for a minute. He said, I know, because I know that God knows, and because God knows, I know. So what do? Just 2 words. What is the answer? Correct. And for all of you that didn't say it, just listen to your neighbor, because that's, I know. I know that I know. It may not be revealed yet, but it's in there somewhere, because the answer has to accompany the question. It's there for us, and life is always there for us. So if we look at life as an invitation, it's an invitation. It's inviting us into the be-moreness and the potentiality, into the creative potential that's everywhere waiting for us to explore. Where did I read that? Tolkien said, not all who wander are lost. Not all who wander are lost. You've got to be open to look for new things, new creative expressions, try new things, fail, get up. You need to do all of that. That's for us. And the invitation asks us to be available, to be willing, and to be open to something new. Practical people keep their thoughts in the clouds and their feet on the ground. This is the way they bring heaven to earth. So if right now we're sitting in a question, if we're sitting in some confusion and we don't have the answer, it's the invitation to us to sit and be present. Lift our mind, because right thinking is when we know. This is the most important sentence, I think, in the Science of Mind textbook. I forget. I can't remember how it starts. Where is it? I can't remember. Oh my, okay, there, I got it. I just needed the first word. There is a power for good in the universe. And it is, I can't remember the rest of it. I think I've got a little too much on my mind right now. There's a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it anytime, all the time. It's ever present, always. There's a power for good in the universe. Let's say that together. There's a power for good in the universe, and we can use it anytime, all the time, every time. Okay. All right. Oh, God, that took a lot to get through that. Okay. That sentence right there is a prayer of faith. Because a prayer of faith knows. That's it, not N-O-S-E. Do you ever do, dictation and you say it knows and it comes out N-O-S-E? It happens to me, I'll tell you. But knows, K-N-O-W-S, knows. It's there, and we have to live that and be that right here and now. So I love this quote, and it's about life as an invitation. Every moment's inviting us to participate, to be there, to show up, to pay attention, to be there fully. And it's a quote from my second boyfriend, and he's also a Sufi mystic. His name is Hafez, but he's second place to Rumi. But I still love him very, very much. And he says, every child has known the name of God. Not the God of don'ts, not the God of names, not the gods. You know what? I messed that up too. And I know this one's like the back of my hand also. Every child knows God. Not the God of names, not the God of don'ts, not the God who does anything weird. Only the God who knows 4 words and keeps repeating them. Come dance with me. Come dance. Come play. Find the joy in life and the joy in living. That's why we're here. That's why we're together. Because we know that joy is inherent in us right now when we choose to accept that invitation and dance with God. Please join me as we just close this section of our service with a prayer to step into that infinite knowing, that infinite goodness, that infinite possibility that's calling us forth, that's calling us right here in this moment to more fully express the wonder, the light, the uniqueness that we are, that calling that wants us to be fully alive, to be open and available in this and every moment, to be able to live in the mystery without panic, and to live in the joy without giving up when it moves on, but to be present for it all, by the whole and through the whole experience of life, that we can be there, show up, and know whatever is in our life in this moment is for our good, for our awakening, for something more that hasn't been completely revealed yet, because life is ever unfolding right here, right now, in our hearts, in our minds, all around us. How blessed we are. How blessed we are to be together, to be this InSpirit community who prays together, cries together, loves together, laughs together, celebrates together, that's together in this thing we call life. How good it is. We say a quiet blessing and thank you to each and every person here and those beyond, because this is our truth. We love God, we love InSpirit, we love each other with all our hearts and all our minds. And together, with the absolute fullness of acceptance and truth, we release this prayer by saying together, and so it is. Thank you for that.